Japan, a land of great splendor and tradition, is also the birthplace of the celebrated samurai warriors. These warriors have become a prevalent figure in contemporary culture, but what was their role in ancient Japanese society? The term samurai literally translates to one who serves, and this was their primary function, serving a feudal lord or even the emperor. Initially, samurai were responsible for collecting taxes from peasants. As this work was not always peaceful, samurai began to utilize weapons and practice martial arts. In addition, they had the authority to execute lower-class citizens who refused to pay the required taxes. The primary duties of samurai included protecting the assets of their lord, maintaining order and customs, and remaining loyal to their sovereign. As their influence grew, respect for the samurai class increased, although they were also feared and detested by some members of society. Over time, many samurai accumulated wealth and land, but they were still considered a lower class compared to the nobility. With an increase in land disputes, feudal lords hired more warriors as samurai. These feudal lords, known as daimyo, only paid allegiance to the emperor. In 1185, numerous feudal lords engaged in war. After many battles, Minamoto no Yoritomo emerged victorious and was given the title of shogun, the supreme commander of the army. All other feudal lords were required to swear loyalty to him, marking the beginning of the Kamakura shogunate, Japan's first military dictatorship. During this period, the samurai class acquired military functions, and their authority became even more significant. A peasant could be punished with death simply for looking a samurai in the eyes or defiling their clothing. Many samurai married women from noble families and trained their children from a young age to become their successors. As they reached their prime, affluent and influential samurai families were trained in the art of armed and unarmed combat. These ancient martial techniques gave birth to modern disciplines such as judo, karate, and aikido. As part of their compensation, samurai were often paid in bags of rice, which was a staple food of the time. After experiencing a period of relative peace for 400 years, Japan underwent a period of unrest. The central government weakened and several feudal lords engaged in a war for military control of the country. This period of conflict, known as the Sengoku Period, or the era of civil war, was the most tumultuous in Japanese history. It was during this time that the samurai class reached its peak, with men of various social classes becoming samurai to serve their lords. The samurai class primarily fought on horseback, and were proficient in using bows and arrows, as well as swords, spears, and other weapons. The code of conduct for samurai, known as bushido, emphasized loyalty, honor, and self-control. Samurai were expected to be brave and fearless in battle, and to follow the orders of their lord without hesitation. However, they were also expected to be well-educated and cultured, with a deep understanding of literature, poetry, and the arts. During the time of the samurai in Japan, only members of the samurai class and nobility were permitted to carry two swords at their waist. The long sword, known as the katana, was highly prized for both its economic and symbolic value, and was considered the embodiment of the samurai spirit. The shorter sword, called the wakizashi, was carried by samurai when entering confined spaces, as it was more suitable for use in close quarters than the longer katana. The possession of these two swords was a clear indication of social status. Samurai armor was made from lacquered wood, silk, and small metal plates, and was designed to be relatively lightweight, while still offering adequate protection. The helmet was a heavier metal object that came in a range of decorative styles. Some armors were also designed to intimidate opponents on the battlefield. The Sengoku period was a time of great unrest in Japan, marked by widespread famine, disease, and fires. Many feudal lords were concerned that their warrior class had become too ambitious and uncontrollable, leading to the creation of the Bushido Code of Honor for samurai. For most samurai, maintaining their honor was more important than their own lives, as a good reputation could last for generations beyond their time on earth. The cherry blossom, or Sakura, became a symbol of the samurai way of life, as it blooms brightly, but only for a brief time before falling away. This philosophy holds that a samurai should live in the present, serve their lord, and pass away at their natural peak. However, there were some who sought only fame and power. and instances of betrayal were not uncommon. The Battle of Sekigahara ended with the victory of Tokugawa Ieyasu, leading to the establishment of the Tokugawa shogunate and a period of relative peace that lasted for nearly 300 years in Japan. In the 16th century, the samurai class began to lose power and influence as the Japanese government underwent significant changes. The shogunate system was abolished, and the emperor regained control of the government. The samurai class was gradually stripped of its privileges and eventually lost the right to bear arms. In the late 19th century, the samurai class was officially disbanded, and the modern Japanese military was established. The samurai class saw a decline in power, and many lost their masters or were simply dismissed. Some even resorted to the ritual suicide of seppuku, feeling that they had been dishonored by the loss of their social status. Others chose to become merchants or police officers, while many became ronin, samurai without masters who wandered without a clear direction. These ronin took on various jobs as mercenaries, bodyguards, and even formed criminal organizations. Japan had traditionally been isolated from the rest of the world, maintaining only limited trade with other countries. However, in 1854, due to a severe economic and financial crisis, Japan was forced to open its ports to foreign trade. This brought many new and improved technologies to Japan, but also led to discontent among some citizens, particularly those from samurai families, who were not happy with the changes to traditional Japanese ways of life. These changes ultimately led to the Meiji Restoration, a period marked by resistance